Hello everyone, it's Q here. Welcome to one of my biggest accomplishments ever. I won't talk much to you for this little disclaimer, since I will talk to you for the next hour. Just the little info you need. This video contains all Dragon Ball transformations ever done and drawn by me and explained by me. Have fun, grab a pack of snacks, or just get in bed or sit down and enjoy.
Alright, let's start with Bardock. I used Bardock for the base form, for the representation of the base form, because he won't make another appearance here, and I didn't want to use Goku or Vegeta or Gohan, who have way more forms and way more appearances, so we have a bit of a variety here. And I also used the moment where he confronted Frieza in space, because it was the most iconic one. Yeah, so much for the base form. The base form is the normal state a Saiyan is in, and it has no special abilities or anything else. It's just the normal state. Alright, up next we have the first transformation of Dragon Ball Classic. This could be any Saiyan, by the way, right now, because any Saiyan can obtain this form. Unless he has no tail, then it won't work. This is the Ozaru in the Japanese, or in the Western version it's called the Great Ape. The Great Ape is a transformation any Saiyan can undergo if he looks at the full moon or any light source with a power of 18 million Xenon, if I remember correctly. If looked at the full moon or similar, the Saiyan undergoes a bizarre transformation where he turns into that giant beast, and this form has a power boost of 10 times of the original power level. When a Saiyan transforms into a giant great ape, he loses his consciousness and control and goes into a rage state and destroys anything in sight. But if trained well, like Vegeta's Great Ape, you can stay conscious and use it on your own. Now we finally got our first technique. One Goku has managed to obtain from training with King Kai. This is the Kaioken, or in some old dubs called King Kai's Fist. This technique is able to multiply your power, your speed, your defenses and other abilities. But it is very dangerous because it can damage your body heavily, and if not used right or untrained, your body will immediately explode. Goku has managed to push it to 4 times against Vegeta, but his body was very much damaged by it. And in the Namek Saga, he perfectionated it to 20 times of your original power level. Now we got our first transformation that made it into a movie and stayed there. This is the pseudo Super Saiyan, or false Super Saiyan. And back in the day when the movie with Lord Slug aired, this was Toei Animation's first attempt of making a Super Saiyan, because the manga chapter wasn't out yet with the Super Saiyan. So Toei tried to make something that looks like a Super Saiyan, and then the original, the actual Super Saiyan, got revealed in the manga. So this was then dubbed the false Super Saiyan. It was then later stated that Goku would have undergone the transformation of a Super Saiyan, but the Saiyan biology introduced the S cells later in the Cell or Buu saga, and his so-called S cells weren't ready yet. But I'll explain the S cells later when the Super Saiyan comes up. And there he is, the one and only Super Saiyan. This is the form that most likely inspired us all. This is the Super Saiyan, and it has a power boost of 50 times from your original power level. And when transformed, your hair will be in a golden state and your eyes turn green. I used Vegito for this picture because I originally wanted to use Gogeta here. But then, when I thought about it, Gogeta was more iconic in his blue form in the movie, and Vegito's more iconic version was against Super Buu as a Super Saiyan. So I used him here. I also from now on will use inspiration from the series or some manga panels when it comes to the shading, because I want to catch that original style of Toriyama and Toei Animation, so it looks even better. And this is Super Vegeta, or the Super Saiyan Grade 2, the first mutation of the Super Saiyan. Back then in the Cell Saga, Vegeta and the others tried to overcome the level of a Super Saiyan. Vegeta mainly wanted to do it because he wanted to surpass Goku. And then he found this little mini transformation. When undergoing the transformation of a Super Saiyan Grade 2, your muscles will start to bulk up and the hair gets a little bit spikier. But everything else looks the same to a Super Saiyan. The power level has to be stronger than a Super Saiyan, but weaker than a Super Saiyan Grade 3 and Super Saiyan 2. So I estimated it around 60 and 75 times stronger than your original state. And this is the Super Saiyan Grade 3 I just talked about. This form is also called the Ultra Saiyan, and this form is more likely a mutation than the other one, and it clearly shows. Your hair gets even spikier than before and also longer, and your muscles overgrow and your eyes disappear, or at least the color part of the eyes. Fun fact, this form, by the way, inspired Toriyama to make Broly because of the similar looks. And when I say this form is slow and bad, then I mean that. Cell, cocky as he is, even copied that transformation just to show Trunks how bad that is and how slow and crappy the form and unstable it all is. This form is really just an act of desperation and doesn't help to anything. Now this form is way better. This is the Super Saiyan Grade 4, or also called Super Saiyan Full Power. And in this form you're practically in your base form, but also a Super Saiyan. So your base is 50 times stronger, but you're calm and everything like in your base form. Goku and Gohan noticed that the best way to fight Cell is probably in the original Super Saiyan. So they trained and obtained it into their base form, so the stamina aspect goes away. The Super Saiyan now drains no stamina anymore and can be used freely. And as it shows, Goku and Gohan did the best against Cell. But the power boost of 50 times stays the same. Now this is the next form. The next original form. No mutation whatsoever. This is the Super Saiyan beyond the Super Saiyan, or mainly called Super Saiyan 2. This form was firstly achieved by Gohan in an amount of rage when Android 16 died. And this form has a power boost of 100 times stronger than your original state. Your aura also gets some lightning to show the immense power boost you got now. And your hair is way spikier than before. But that's already it. This form is pretty simple. Now this form is pretty interesting. This is the legendary Super Saiyan. The legendary Super Saiyan gets born every 1,000 years. And he got some special traits. As stated in the following, he has some green hair. His aura is slightly yellow but greenish. He gets way more muscled up than a normal Super Saiyan. And he also loses his eyes, as stated before that Toriyama inspired himself from Super Saiyan Grade 3 Trunks. But unfortunately, we don't know much more about it. That's already it. That's a shame, honestly, because this form has had so much more potential than all the other forms, and its power level isn't even determined. That's the worst part, but we can guess it around Super Saiyan 2 or even higher. Nobody knows. Now this one is a little bit tricky as well. This is the Super Saiyan power, if that is even its name. It's one of the names, because this form isn't even a transformation, actually. In the filler episode where Goku and Pi-Kon-Han fought, they needed to travel to Hell because Frieza, Cell and the rest of the gang made trouble there. And Goku transformed into this weird state where he got his aura, his hair spiked up, but his hair stayed black. And now people treated it as its own thing. But this was probably an animation error by Toei Animation, because Goku needed to transform later against Pi-Kon-Han, and that should be a surprise attack. Probably just to don't mess things up. It was complicated. This one will be a short one as well, because it's pretty simple. This is the Super Kaioken, or Super Saiyan with Kaioken. Goku used that against Pi-Kon-Han in the afterlife, and just because of that it was even possible, because the Super Saiyan and the Kaioken conflicts themselves, and Goku should blow up immediately. But since he's already dead, and his body can't be destroyed, that worked so suddenly. This was probably too an thing with Toei, because Goku turned Super Saiyan 2 against Majin Vegeta later, and they didn't want to spoil that right here. So they made Goku stronger without using Super Saiyan 2. Pretty clever when you think about it. Now this form is a fan favorite, you already know him. The Super Saiyan that is beyond the Super Saiyan that is beyond the Super Saiyan. Just kidding, this is Super Saiyan 3. And it got way cooler changes than the Super Saiyan 2 with just spikier hair and lightning aura. This one also got lightnings in his aura, and he got long spiky hair and no eyebrows and pupils. By the way, this no eyebrows thing would look terrible in real life, but it looks cool in animation, so I guess well thought. It originally was planned that Goku also gets a tail, but this was scrapped and saved for later. You already know, probably. And this form has a power boost of 400 times the original state. But this form is not so good, because it has very, very bad energy reserves. You basically lose the form instantly after using it. Goku can barely hold it for like 1 or 2 minutes. And so this form is pretty inefficient. Yeah, but the fans loved it, and that is what counts. This is Gohan's ultimate form, or Potential Unleashed, or whatever you want to call it, and I don't quite like it because it isn't really a form. Gohan got us with the ritual, through a ritual with the Elder Kai, and now he has this 100% power just through a transformation. And yeah, that's not really cool because that's it. They needed to do that because Gohan was the strongest and he needed to be at his best the whole time, and yeah, wow, that's it. Well, it's a shame that Gohan got thrown away with so little of cool stuff. This form is a little bit interesting, but also a little bit not so well written. This is the Golden Ozaru, or Golden Great Ape, and Goku achieved this form when he got his tail back, and when he now looked at the full moon, he turned golden as a Great Ape. So this is possibly the Super Saiyan in the Great Ape. And my problem with this form is that Goku has now to remember who he was, so he can turn into Super Saiyan 4. So this Ozaru state thing is just a little gatekeeper to make Super Saiyan 4 more interesting. But it reintroduced the Great Ape, so this form is also a bit interesting, because it's something different. But that's it. The power level also was never stated. It's probably 500 times, because 10 times 50, that's what many fans figured. But that can't be, because Baby manhandled Goku when he was a Super Saiyan 3, and this was 400 times stronger than the original state, so just 100 more could not be enough to make Baby sweat. So it's probably 5,000 times stronger. But now we go to Super Saiyan 4, which is way more freaky with his power level. This form is really, really cool, a fan favorite, but it's also a bit freaky when it comes to the power level. This is Super Saiyan 4, and this time the Saiyans undergo a real transformation, just like with the Great Ape, so they really change in appearance, and that is really, really cool. First, they lose their top of the clothing, and they grow fur. Vegeta has a more dark red fur, and Goku has a little pinkish red fur. They also have different eyes. Goku has yellow eyes, and Vegeta has blue eyes. That's probably because Vegeta got it in a little cheat way with some machine that turned him into Super Saiyan 4, and Goku got it in the traditional way. Now, this form has, by the way, also a tail, just as I said earlier. They scrapped it with Super Saiyan 3, but Super Saiyan 4 got a tail now, which is very cool. The user also has black long hair and a little bit, I don't know how to call it, but yeah, it's a bit messy. And the Saiyans also got some red eyeliner, which is pretty cool. And now we go to the power level, which is a total mess. Oh. As I said earlier, 500 times stronger is impossible due to the strength of the enemy, and 5,000 times also doesn't really fit to the strength of this form. But that is because Goku got a little power up through some ritual, and now he gets extremely strong with a power level of some quadrillions or something. I honestly don't know what to tell you guys, because the fans also are really unsure of how strong this form is. And yeah, that's everything I can tell you guys. Sorry. This is a form I despise, and it's because it again is not its own form. This happened when Beerus hits Bulma, and Vegeta gets a gets extremely enraged and turns into Super Saiyan 2. But since he got a rage boost, he is now stronger than Goku in Super Saiyan 3. And just because it's that strong, people treat it as it is its own form, which is complete BS in my opinion. This is just Super Saiyan 2 with a rage boost and that's it. And when I say from one strange form to the next one, I mean that. This is the Super Saiyan power-up, and this one occurred when the God ritual failed. So Goku is now a Super Saiyan that is extremely powerful because he absorbed the power of all the others. This also happened in the Broly movie, I guess. And this form is it looks a bit special. He got a spiky aura, it looks a bit cooler, shinier, and I made the decision to draw the eyes also yellow to make a little bit of a difference. And Gohan stated that this form is stronger than every fighter before, but it wasn't strong enough to rival Beerus. Some forms are really strange, I know. Finally, a form I really do enjoy. This is the Super Saiyan God. And this one opened a new gate to new transformations. And it looked really cool. So, the Super Saiyan God. Goku's hair turns red and stays in the shape of the base form. And Goku now gets God Ki. And from now on, the transformations aren't measurable anymore. It's just, I can say this form is stronger than the other one. And that's the only way we can orientate ourselves. And this form got a fiery aura, which looks really, really cool. And in the movie Battle of Gods, this form could rival 70% of Beerus' power. But because Toriyama didn't know how to continue Dragon Ball, he thought that would be all we can get. But now, probably Gogeta in Ultra Ego Instinct can't even beat Beerus. Yeah, by the way, I drew this form pretty weird, I know. I made the limbs and all pretty slim, like it is. Goku gets a bit slim, but his neck was too much, I'm sorry. At this point, it isn't even funny anymore. This is also not a form again, but something the fandom treats like one. The Saiyan Beyond God, which is a form, you know, where Goku and Vegeta absorbed the essence of the Super Saiyan God, so the God Ki, into their base form and now are extremely powerful. Yeah, and the fandom treats it like an original form. I don't know honestly anymore. Finally, a good, honest form. This is the Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, or more commonly known as Super Saiyan Blue. This form comes directly after the Super Saiyan God, and is probably 50 times stronger than the Super Saiyan God. So, to put it simple, the Super Saiyan God, is treated like the base form of the divine path the Saiyans undergo. And the Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan is, of course, the Super Saiyan variant of the divine path. Also, fun fact, Akira Toriyama wanted this form originally to be in a white state, like you see now. But he also planned that Zamasu will have the white hair, which even looks identical to Gogeta right now. So he wanted something original for the Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan and chose blue, which is honestly very cool. This one is fairly simple, but also a bit interesting. This is the Super Saiyan Blue used with the Kaioken. Normally, the Kaioken conflicts itself with a Super Saiyan transformation. But because the Super Saiyan Blue has a calm and controlled aura, the Kaioken can be used as the Super Saiyan Blue, which gives a massive energy boost, but it's still dangerous. Goku hurt himself really hard after using it against Hit, and he couldn't even fight or train or use his ki for several days after. But later he learned to control it properly, so he can use it whenever he wants. He used it as 10 times stronger and 20 times stronger, plus Super Saiyan Blue boost, which is honestly really big. By the way, I noticed this is the only drawing that I drew absolutely shitty. I hope you can forgive me for that. Finally, one of my favorites. This is the Super Saiyan Rosé. It's a bit complicating, but I try to make it simple. When Zamasu was so fascinated of Goku, he swapped bodies with him via the Super Dragon Balls. So now we have Zamasu's soul in Goku's body, which is important. Now, when Goku Black, Zamasu in Goku's body is named Goku Black. When Goku Black wanted to turn Super Saiyan Blue, he got this form. With the reason that the Saiyans use Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue to adapt into the realm of the gods. Yeah. Now, Zamasu is already a god. He has divine powers, and his soul is from divine origin. So he can't adapt into that. He already is. So he got a different form. Goku Black also called this form Super Saiyan Rosé to mock the Saiyans, because they always keep track of their forms via a color, since he only knows Super Saiyan Blue. Now, I personally like the design very much. It's a little bit different from the rest. The aura is extremely cool, and he also keeps gray eyes, which is a little bit different from the Super Saiyan Blue. And yeah, I just like it. Oof, now this one is a little bit different from the rest. This time, we have a real form, but the fandom treats it like it's nothing. Ooh, funny story. Because we know nothing about it. We never got told anything about this form. Nothing, no power levels, no origin, not even what it is. We don't even have a name, right? The fans came up with Super Saiyan Rage. And Trunks got so mad at Goku Black and Zamasu that he got this form, and now he's a little bit on par with Rosé Goku Black, which is a bit idiotic in my opinion. But it looks not even that different. His hair is a little bit different, but anything else from appearance, there isn't anything happening. Besides the aura, it has a Super Saiyan aura, like yellowish, but it's filled out with the blue energy. This could have been so much better. For example, the blue stuff in the aura could be God Ki, and this is Trunks' way of adapting into a Super Saiyan God, but not through the ritual. But who am I to judge that? It could have been so much, but it was so lazy written. It's a shame for Trunks, who was a loved character by the fandom. Now, this is Super Saiyan Blue 100%. This is the equivalent of the Kaioken, but I'll come to that later. Goku realized that the Super Saiyan Blue is a little bit inefficient. So he sucked in the aura that is spilled out every time they fight, so he can use 100% of the energy the Super Saiyan Blue has to offer. And that makes him a bit stronger and strong enough to match up with Zamasu in his fused form. And now a little bit of backstory telling. Toriyama handled the Dragon Ball Super Canon via some stick notes. He just wrote the important things that should happen, for example, Tournament of Power. What the animators and manga writers, as Toyotaro, do with it is up to them. And for this example, Toriyama wrote, Goku should get an Super Saiyan Blue power-up. How they do it, what they do, and if it even makes sense is up to the animators or to Toyotaro. And Toyotaro decided to make this form, while Toei Animation made the Super Saiyan Blue with Kaioken because it was more with more effects and it looked cooler in animation. And it's cool to see both came up with something original and something cool. And yeah, that's it. But honestly, I don't quite like that form because I never really see the difference in Super Saiyan Blue and Super Saiyan Blue 100%. But it's still cool. To be honest, we can skip this one. I made my research after I drew the picture and found out that this is just Legendary Super Saiyan. Too late, my bad. So I decided to draw Kale in an uncontrolled and controlled state of this form. So yeah, I can get anything out of this picture. My bad, I guess. This form is a little bit more green than the Legendary Super Saiyan, but it's still the same. They called it Berserker because Kale didn't have control over it, but after she gained the control, it's just the Legendary Super Saiyan. Now we got to a huge fan favorite. This is the Ultra Instinct Omen, or also known as Ultra Instinct Sign. Goku used that form against Jiren in the Tournament of Power. After he nearly died to the Spirit Bomb he tried to throw at Jiren. He also used that form against Kefla, by the way. And yeah, you heard me right, I said form. We later find out in the manga after the Tournament of Power from Whis that Goku is using it wrong. So he's using it as a form, which is inefficient. So he later trains it to use it as a technique, so he can combine it with his base form, he can use it in a Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, and much more. But he can also use it as a form. Now, what can you do with Ultra Instinct? It's very, very interesting, and I love this technique or form because of how new it is. So, when you activate Ultra Instinct, your body just moves on its own. You don't think anymore, you don't have the time to calculate anything, you just act and do, and this in a very successful way. It also, Dragon Ball style, gives you a little bit more power and speed and all that, yada yada yada. But the interesting thing is that you just move on your own, that your body just responds to anything that gets to it. Fun fact, Toriyama liked it to inspire himself from real-life martial artists to create this form. He, to be exact, he inspired himself from the Japanese and Chinese fighting styles, which often use the method of dodging, based on your instincts. Up next we have a rather interesting form. This is the legendary Super Saiyan 2, or also known as the Super Saiyan Berserker 2. This is highly interesting because this is the only form a fusion will take. And this is because Caulifla was able to use Super Saiyan 2 and Kale was the legendary Super Saiyan. And now we add it together, Super Saiyan 2 plus Legendary Super Saiyan equals Legendary Super Saiyan 2. Yeah, a bit funny, but this form was extremely strong and capable of withstanding Ultra Instinct Goku, barely.
Now, this is one of my favorite forms from Vegeta. This is the Super Saiyan Blue evolution, and Vegeta obtained this form in the Tournament of Power when tag teaming with Goku. It was the moment where they had to give it their all against Jiren, and Goku used his Super Saiyan Blue with Kaioken times 20, and Vegeta had nothing else, so he gave it his all, and this form came out. It's basically a stronger Super Saiyan Blue for Vegeta, only for Vegeta, it seems. And I finally have some power level information again, because we know it was stated that this form is as strong as the Super Saiyan Blue with Kaioken times 20. So this is it. This is the Mastered Ultra Instinct. The last form Goku achieved in the anime, and one of his best forms in the manga. This is basically the Ultra Instinct Omen, just perfected or mastered. So it is more stable and more stronger and a little bit faster. Goku managed to perfect this form in the Tournament of Power against Jiren, and he even triggered him so much with his power that he had to use a new form of his own. But Jiren is not that important now, because we have more information in the manga. This is still a form, not a technique. And Goku used it against Moro, where he even used a new form of its own, if you want to call it like that. It was Perfected Ultra Instinct. But to be fair, this is just Perfected Ultra Instinct is just mastered Ultra Instinct. So it's really not a form, it's just that he mastered this form. And yeah, Akira Toriyama chose this form to have white hair, or silver white hair, because in the color psychology, white is called to be the end state. White is the absolute form and the end of everything. So this was used to be Goku's last form. But we'll see about that. Maybe in the manga he will rock a new form sooner or later, but this is I highly doubt that. This is an interesting concept again. This is the Ikari form, or enraged state, of Broly, which he got in the movie Dragon Ball Super Broly. His hair spikes a little bit up and he gets yellow eyes, just like the Super Saiyan 4, which is really cool in my opinion. And this form is basically a Ozaru, or a giant great ape, but he keeps his normal state. So he gets a times 10 power boost, he's wildly infuriated and even kinda loses his control over himself. And yeah, right, I almost forgot the most important part of it. He gets sometimes this green aura when he's infuriated, and this is probably the legendary Super Saiyan aura, which is in him because he is this legendary Super Saiyan. So this is Ultra Ego Vegeta. This is Vegeta's final form in Dragon Ball Super until today. And please don't laugh. I make him look like a crackhead. I'm sorry. But what can this form do? What is technique? Yeah, when Vegeta takes damage, he gets stronger. The more damaged he is, the stronger he gets. And this is extremely wild, to be honest, because a Saiyan always fights to the end. And so Vegeta always gains his peak in fighting. But this form was kinda done dirty in the manga because Vegeta achieved most likely nothing with it until now. And yeah, this is extremely sad because this is a extremely cool form and it is extremely practical for fighting, and now it does nothing really. So I made Vegeta look like that because he really was enjoying the fight against Granola. He was extremely excited to finally fight like his old self again. And I wanted to visualize that in this picture, that Vegeta can lose his cool when he can finally fight again with nothing on the loose. He doesn't need to protect Earth, there is no one he needs to save, and so he can just fight like the beast he once was. Which I really liked to see. This is a fairly simple one again. This is True Ultra Instinct. I talked about before that Goku used this as a form accidentally, and this is the technique version, which is more efficient and better. And like I said before, Goku can use this form in various states: base form, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, or, which is kind of weird for me, or he can use it as its own form again, which is a little bit weird, because this was the main problem with the Ultra Instinct Omen, but I'll take it. And a little bit interesting is that Goku can use his emotions now in battle, because Ultra Instinct was this kind of calm form, so he can't do anything, but now he can use his emotions and therefore his anger, and this makes this form extremely much more powerful than the other two forms. So this form is a little bit hated by the community, and I can fully understand that, because this form was not kind of, but it wasn't complete asshole. Firstly, this form was probably made because the ultimate form was too boring and they wanted something flashy, something new. And now to the stats. We know so far that this form is probably on par with Goku and Vegeta and their newest forms, which is completely hilarious because Gohan got this form out of nothing. He was a little bit angry against Cell Max, and bam, new form. New form and probably strongest fighter in the universe, which is a little bit sad. We know that Gohan is a prodigy, but this was a bit too much. So now we come to how the form looks. At least the design looks cool. It looks a little bit like Super Saiyan 2, which was also referenced in the movie. He got glowing red eyes and also some silver hair, which is extremely peaked. You can Google this form and it looks a little bit hilarious. But yeah, this is the beast form. This form is known as the Evil Saiyan, or the legendary Evil Saiyan, and I quite like this one. This is from Dragonball Heroes, and let's say it like this, the forms are getting funky now. But this one is a little bit explainable. So, this form, or this state, as you might refer to it, was used by Cumber, the Evil Saiyan, and Turles. Mainly used by Cumber, but Turles later used it too, and since Cumber makes an appearance here in the video later on, I used Turles to have more variety on my picture. So, the Evil Saiyan is somewhat of an add-on you can use to your normal Super Saiyan forms. So when you are in the state of an Evil Saiyan, you can still use Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, and on and on. So what it does is basically you are evil now, and you are way stronger than before. Cumber, who is a powerhouse himself in base form already, was stated to be as strong as Super Saiyan Blue Vegito, or later on Super Saiyan 4 Xeno Vegito, which is a massive feat. But that is about it. This is a big problem with Dragon Ball Heroes. We have no real explanations and no real statements about the forms. Therefore, this is all we know. But appearance, yeah. The appearance is with Turles, long black hair and blood red evil aura. And that's it. That was the Evil Saiyan. So, stay with me. This is this full power Super Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker. The name is just sensational. This form was used by Xeno Goku, Xeno Vegeta, the fusions of them, and even Broly, as far as I know. Now, to the appearance. The appearance is similar to the Super Saiyan 4, since it's an enhancement of that form, but it's more glowy and more pink, which sounds a little bit ridiculous, but we'll get to that. The aura of that form is looking similar to the Ultra Instinct, but in a reddish pink tone. And this form is extremely powerful. The form is achieved by a key ritual, similar to the Super Saiyan God ritual. And when Xenogoku and Xenovegeta gained this form, they were massively overpowered. This form is... it's not even funny how strong it is. But in one of the latest episodes of Super Dragon Ball Heroes, we saw that Ultra Instinct Goku... so, in the Super Dragon Ball Heroes, this Ultra Instinct Goku was stronger than Super Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker Goku, which honestly shocked me, because how? These forms were portrayed like overpowered, and then Ultra Instinct Goku was still stronger, which didn't make much sense to me. But hey, who am I to judge? Now, this is the legendary Super Saiyan 3, and I'm noticing I messed Broly a little bit up, but yeah. So, this form is really simple, because it is. This is the legendary Super Saiyan 3, and this is basically it. This is the level 3 of a legendary Super Saiyan. A level 2 doesn't exist as far as I know, and even that, if this form was just used in some Dragon Ball Heroes promo actions, and I think it even appeared in Dragon Ball Fusions, a Nintendo DS game. And that's it. That's all the info we have. Man, Broly is done dirty every time. But only Z Broly. Super Broly is really cool. Talking about Broly, here we have fake Broly, or Cumber, in the Super Saiyan 3 full power. As I tried to say before, Dragon Ball Heroes is trying to be a little bit experimental, and this is one of these experimental forms. So this is basically the full power, the limit of Cumber, and it's portrayed by the Super Saiyan 3 full power, which is basically Super Saiyan 3 with evil Saiyan. But later on, I believe Bardock also used that form when fighting against Ultra Instinct Omen Goku. But yeah, we have like absolutely nothing about this form when it comes to power scaling. But the appearance of the form is you're way more bulky, way more muscular, and the hair is slightly a bit orange. And that's it, unfortunately. I have to correct myself, Bardock didn't use this form. He was just in a normal Super Saiyan 3 state, but was, since this is Dragon Ball Heroes, unnecessarily strong. Which is even more of a shame. This form is interesting again. This is the Super Saiyan Blue Berserk controlled state. And as I have hopefully said it before, I didn't include Majin Vegeta in this video, the same reason as I don't include the normal Super Saiyan Berserk. It is because it is more like a possession than an actual form, but Vegeta was able to make it a form, which is honestly kind of cool, so he has his own thing now, again. So, the setting is that in the so-called New Space-Time War arc, which is basically Ultra God Mission, Turles tried to possess Vegeta with this so-called evil energy. When you touch it, or if you absorb it automatically, you turn into this Berserk state. And Vegeta was able to master it and control it, and now he has a new form. So this is basically Super Saiyan Blue, even though it doesn't look like it in the drawing. It's Super Saiyan Blue, but you have your pupils back, so the black thing in the eyes, and the form is a little bit more shiny. And the aura is Super Saiyan Blue, but the inside is dark blue, which looks really, really cool. And yeah, Vegeta was stronger with that form, and somewhat on par with Ultra Instinct, Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku. And that was the Super Saiyan Blue Berserk Control. This one will be a short one as well, because it's speaking for itself again. This is the Super Saiyan Rose 2, which was, I think it was used by Goku Black or the Crimson Masked Saiyan, which is Goku Black but from an alternate timeline and with more Saiyan characteristics. Yeah, I already told more about his character than the actual form, because that's already it. It's Super Saiyan Rose 2, and of course we don't have any kind of power level statements. It's just Super Saiyan Rose 2, that's it. Unfortunately, yeah. So before I forget to mention it, this form was anime and game only, therefore I didn't quite remember it because I have only read the manga. And as you can notice, hopefully, I have even made a little progression with this picture. So the Crimson Masked Saiyan here has a full mask in Super Saiyan 2 Rose, even though he doesn't have it in the anime. It's just because I want to bring a little bit of variety into this picture, and here he has a full mask. So this is the successor of the Super Saiyan Rose 2, and this is the Super Saiyan Rose 3, and it has all the characteristics of the Super Saiyan 3, no eyebrows, long hair, but in the Rose color. And he even has a red eye, his left eye is red, but this is because of the Crimson Mask. Now, as I have mentioned before, now I have cracked the mask open, his left side of the face is now revealed. And yeah, we now even have a little bit of power scaling. So this form is a little bit weaker than Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku, but it is good enough to compete with him, to say the least. Yeah, this is Super Saiyan Rose 3, which looks badass. This one honestly shocked me because I didn't really think this would or even could exist. This is Super Saiyan 4 with the Kaioken. It was invented and only used by Xeno Gogeta, and this was very shocking for me because Super Saiyan 4 with Kaioken, this is a contradiction in itself. No, we know Super Saiyan and Kaioken is a very hard discussion, since it even overpowered Goku, who was dead by this point, and Super Saiyan 4 was even enough for GT Gogeta to defuse. So either they didn't really think about it, or even if the explanation is that Xeno Goku is just strong enough to withstand that, I would be okay with that too, since the Xenos are really strong. So don't trust me. Trust me, I am not colorblind. The form gives a yellowish glow instead of a red one, even though it is a Kaioken technique. And even the hair is yellow and kind of orange. And the aura is a yellow Super Saiyan 4 aura surrounded by a Kaioken aura. And that is basically it, Super Saiyan 4 with the Kaioken. Now to the last form of Goku Black. Trust the coloring process. I know this looks dumb, but we will get to it eventually. Now, this form is called the Super Saiyan Rosé Full Power. I think in Dragon Ball Heroes they like the word full power somehow. Now, this form is basically the end transformation of the Super Saiyan Rosé. And yeah, he has a little bit longer hair and even a tail in this form, and he gets his eyebrows back, which honestly looks super cool. And yeah, he even got a new ability. This is finally, after like 40 years, we have a transformation that has a certain ability with it. And this is the regeneration. So we have basically a semi-immortal Goku Black, which is insane. It took Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Gogeta to defeat him with one hit, which is a little bit embarrassing. But yeah, this is one of my absolute favorite forms. It looks cool. It looks cool because this form is a little bit more pale than the original Super Saiyan Rosé. And also the aura is a little bit more pale than compared to the rest. The Super Saiyan Rosé aura is really, really cool because it has these different colors. It has red, pink and purple, but this form has only like a light purple and a light pink. I even included this fire from some artworks on the right side of his head. And yeah, this is the full power Super Saiyan Rosé, or Super Saiyan Rosé Full Power. So it is time, ladies and gentlemen, the final form of this drawing and the end of the video. Well, we have an outro, but okay. This is the Super Saiyan Blue Universal. Do I even have to say more? So, let's put it like this. Fu was able to gain the power of the Universe Tree and was trying to corrupt Goku with its energy. But since Goku was able to use the Spirit Bomb, he connected himself with this energy and cleansed it, and therefore was able to harness its power. And now we have a Goku with the power of the whole multiverse. It sounds insane, right? And it is, because Goku is probably the strongest mortal to ever been written in Dragon Ball history, and they won't be able to surpass that in like 10 years. Which is mind-blowing. The appearance is that Goku's skin gets pale, very pale and yellowish, and the hair is somewhat inverted to the Super Saiyan Blue, which looks insanely cool. And the aura is a Super Saiyan Blue aura, but with a little bit of Ultra Instinct mixed in. I don't quite know, but it looks also very, very cool. This form is one of my favorites just because of its sheer power and its immense meaning for Dragon Ball, because there won't be any form that surpasses this in my eyes. But now, you can probably hear it, it's one of my favorite songs in the background. This means something special. This means the end of the video. And now I want to reveal the full picture. And yeah, we're done. Let's go. Now I want to share this moment in real time, so the micro quality will be a little bit lower. But okay, now let's get into it. This is probably the biggest achievement I have made in my drawing career. This is the biggest one that I've done so far. It took really long, but it was worth the wait. I was always concerned that my style of drawing would be not good enough for Dragon Ball. That I am not getting the style of Dragon Ball, that I'm not doing it right. But looking at this picture, really, helps me to understand that everyone has his own little style of drawing stuff, and I'm finally comfortable with it. And I'm happy that I've finally done this. It has taken so long, and I've even took multiple breaks during the making of this video because I was too much stressed because of the rest of my life. I'm going to school, I'm doing stuff there. I don't want to say I have a private life because I didn't really have one. I had to work and stuff, and now I am finally done. This picture was finished, let's say, like 1.5 year, and now I have finally made the video for it. I try to upload it as soon as possible. Today we have January 11th, and yeah, I want to thank you guys for watching and supporting this video. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any other drawing or let's play videos. Please feel free to share this video with your friends. I really want to bring this video around because it's not only just that I want attention and views and stuff, but it is because I tried to explain Dragon Ball for you in this video. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't perfect at all. I would say it was halfway decent. But maybe if you have a friend that isn't quite into Dragon Ball and is always saying that these forms are looking the same and this is nothing different, all these forms are the same, then please share this video with them so they finally can understand a little bit, or even if they just like drawing videos, you can send this to them so they will have fun with this video. Now, let's stop talking and I will finally end this video. Whew. Thank you guys for going through this video with me, and bye.